Osagie Ize-Iyamu has been groomed from childhood about the importance of duty from the living example set by his father, late Chief Robert Osagie Ize-Iyamu, the Esogbon of Great Benin Kingdom. Born in 1962, his life of duty has been reflected in his primary, secondary, and tertiary education, all in Benin.
I grew up at my family house at Erie, which incidentally is an historical monument. The first story building in Benin was a very lovely one. We were one big happy family, even though my father had more than one wife.
Our parents mentored us to be a blessing to our society. They mentored us to appreciate each other. We never even knew that we were actually supposed to be different because we were from different mothers. No, we were one.
That will tell you how we were shielded from those kind of divisions at a very early age.
As he grew older, I began to see so many positive things about him.
I had a wonderful time growing up. I went to public schools, but I got the best education.
In his formative years, right all the way from his secondary school day, he had always stood out against injustice. He had always had these leadership qualities. These were qualities he has been imbued with over time.
One of the most interesting things about Pastor that is still so relevant today is that from the beginning, he has always been a crowd puller. In secondary school, his friends are always around the house. By the time he got into the universities, his friends made our home their second home.
We had a large compound where we could play football. So you can imagine how popular and busy our house was, especially when my father was not home.
It got to a stage my father had to instruct the people cooking, keep food for Osagie's friends every weekend. My father saw something in him that most of us did not see. As we grew older, we saw that he has an inborn leadership role in him.
At a very early age, Osagie Ize-Iyamu understood that to serve is not just by what you say, it is also by your lifestyle choices. When he was admitted into the great University of Benin, his deep love for policy and leadership became evident during his university days as a student of law.
In 1980, while my fellow students are thinking of going to parties, at my own expense, I will leave the university to go and attend youth meetings of UPN, sit down and to brainstorm on how we can win more people to our party. So I was interested from the very early time.
He's practically one of few of the political majordomos just now in Edo State who's lived all his life here.
My love for this place, it was good for me. Of course, by the time we graduated, things have changed, jobs were no longer there. Everybody started leaving. There was a time in Benin, people were laughing at me for being around. But today I thank God that whereas they went abroad for universities and stayed some time, I stayed back. It has paid off.
After law school, when serving in a law firm, he was contributing to the political landscape, and as a result of his passion and love for service, he then became a special assistant from 1988 to 1989 to Lucky Nosakari Benedion when he was the chairman of Oredo Local Government Council. It was in 1999 that Osagie Ize-Iyamu was appointed Chief of Staff by Lucky Benedion, who then became Governor of Edo State.
In 1987, I played a major role in the emergence of Lucky Benedion as chairman of the Old Oredo. He appointed me as special assistant, himself in council.
In the 8 years he served as Chief of Staff or as Secretary to the State Government, he was the engine room. Every achievement that administration recorded, you could practically attribute to Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu.
But what many people also don't know is that I've done other things. People think, oh, Pastor, all he has ever done is politics. It's not true. When I graduated in law, I decided to work with some of my friends. We formed a partnership. It was a law firm with offices in Benin and Lagos. And it was good. After a while, I found out that the call in politics was so strong.
And politics seems to give him an avenue to be able to care for others.
In life's journey, nothing compares with the finding of true love, that soulmate and partner that nourishes and supports a vision.
Marriage is the best thing that has ever happened to me. When I look at my days before I got married and I look at my life now, it's remarkable. When the Bible says, he that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing and obtained favor from the Lord. If you are looking for somebody that would confirm that verse, I think it's me and my wife.
I first met my husband, Osagie Ize-Iyamu, when I was a house officer in Louth in 1990.
It's been a beautiful marriage. She's been extremely supportive, very understanding. She led me to the Redeemed Christian Church of God because she has always been a foundation member.
Osagie is a very kind person. He's very, very kind. He's very, very loving. He showers so much love on his children.
When you have that kind of harmony at home, it helps you to relate outside. It gives you an inner strength, knowing that the home is at peace.
As he grew stronger in life and in principles, Osagie Ize-Iyamu found a deeper and a much more purposeful relationship and service to God while serving his people as a leader.
Osagie loves people and he loves to impact positively on people's life. So I'm not surprised at the way his life is going. He did law, which has to deal with people. He's a pastor, which has to deal with people. And a politician, which also has to deal with people. So there's not be something God has imputed in him that makes him always want to affect people's life.
Outside politics and religion, Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu has devoted very, very quietly a lot of scholarship support to thousands of young men. A lot of people have become graduates today. A lot of people have been able to set up their businesses today. A lot of people have been able to travel overseas today due to his emotional and financial investment. Maybe because of his pastoral calling, he has decided to keep this outside the radar of the public.
If you are wealthy and those around you are poor, you are poor. To be able to appreciate wealth, you must learn how to spread it.
It's a leadership by example. My dad, Professor Bruce Folonso, and also Pastor Ize-Iyamu is also a leadership by example.
His desire to constantly use every opportunity effectively as a means of serving his people as a leader saw him venture into business and the creation of capacity building infrastructures.
I looked at Benin and I saw young men not doing anything, and I said, no, let me start a farm. I believe that the easiest way to engage our people is through agriculture. So I set up a farm, and I also decided that I will complement it with a training center. I will bring youths to the farm and I will train them.
Farms Training Institute, a model farm settlement in Benin City, has turned out hundreds of young agriculturists, achieving its aim of agricultural training, skills acquisition, and empowerment of youths within the state, in Nigeria, and also youths from different parts of the continent.
There are many people I meet outside, they say, sir, you don't remember me. I'm a graduate of IO Farms. There's nothing that gives more joy.
It was because of that passion which he had to empower youth, and he felt that the best way to empower them was to train them, giving them a skill which can feed them.
Working with him has been exciting. He has been able to give us the room to expand the horizon of the things we do.
The fact that he had a vision to establish a farm of that standard shows the kind of background that he's coming from.
One of my great-grandfather was the first to rear pigs in Benin City. So one of the things I did at an early age was to dry pigs. Talking about pigs in their hundreds. So you have to devise a way to shepherd them. And we used to do that. We would bring 200 pigs back home, 300 pigs. And you can imagine, in doing that, it means that you must connect with all the guys in the neighborhood. They all say, see your pig. And because I was so grassroots connected, I also entered into drafts, a local game. So you will see me in the barber shop playing draft. These are things that are seen to be local, and I've been very involved in them. I'm deeply connected with our people. Yes, I live in GRA, but don't be fooled. Most of the time, I'm with the grassroots.
If you go through the 18 local governments, the 192 wards in Edo State, there is no person who does not know the man called Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu. He has the structure. If he's sleeping, you wake him up and say, can you give me 20 or 50 names of leaders in every ward in the state? He will not read any script. He will just start to name them. He knows them by their first name and their last name, the surname. He's a figure in every unit.
It is only a great tree that stones will be thrown at. Every controversy he has been wrongfully accused of has only served to distract the people who need the state to serve them. But this made him even stronger, more focused, resilient in service, and also loved by his people.
Most people that tell lies are people who are insecure, people who don't know who they are.
The people that know him know that all these things are false. There's no way a man like him will continue to enjoy this kind of support if he's a bad person.
Before you become a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, you must have salvation experience. You must go through believers class, workers in training, and then you build on. He has done that from the time he got born again. He has been a full pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God for over 14 years. So I can boldly tell you that this man, Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu, is a Christian and is a pastor.
There's no conflict in being a pastor and being a politician. The Bible says that the people rejoice when the righteous are in authority, and the people mourn when the wicked bear rule.
Anything that has to do with God is in it 1000%, most especially church building. Every time he has been posted to a new parish, to a new area, or to a new zone, before he leaves there, he leaves a state-of-the-art church. He builds for God.
Ize-Iyamu established the first mega parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Edo State. He has helped the church to grow in so many areas. That's why he's called pastor. He didn't get this pastor as a honorary pastor. He became a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Pastor Adeboye laying hands on him to become the assistant pastor. He laid hands on him to become the full pastor in Redeemed, laid hands on him, and for him to become assistant pastor in charge of a province in Redeem. That's not something that you can fake. It's not.
In his words and action, it is clear he has nothing to hide, nothing to pretend about, and nothing to fear.
The place I find peace is Edo State. Not just Benin alone, because there's no part of the state that I don't have friends. I've slept in practically every part of the state. Not just the 3 territorial districts, but the 192 wards. So I'm very comfortable, I'm deeply rooted. And that's why perhaps I'm so passionate about this place. Because if a place has given you so much, naturally, you want to give the place. I've been to many places. Edo can be a lot better, especially when I saw it at an early age, walking. I can't understand why I can't walk now. All you just need is focus, sincerity, and passion. Once that is there, you will find out that with the same resources that they said was not enough, you'll be able to do so much.
He has associated with the people long enough to be able to know their problems.
And he has this ability to forgive. That is one thing that I find so unique. He can forgive anything. And he keeps on saying, this is the Christian spirit.
It's a man that has never lived above the people. He's a man that lives with the people and a man that has lived for the people.
With leadership comes great vision, responsibility, and more importantly, the need to know what people truly feel and need. What better way to know this than to be born into same environment, live with your people, experience the world, and ready for a higher form of service through leadership.
I'm very passionate about the simple agenda because it represents what I would love to do for Edo people. And the simple is an acronym. The acronym: security and social welfare, infrastructural development and urban renewal, manpower development, public-private partnership, leadership by example, employment and empowerment scheme. In summary, that is the simple agenda.
He's going to touch all the areas of his simple agenda.
It's an agenda that has been conceived over time, well thought of, well articulated, and then put in print.
My father worked, and Pastor Ize-Iyamu is also ready to work, ready to serve Edo-lites.
I'm very determined to make a legacy, to do something that posterity will remember me by. I can't hide my passion, I can't hide my love for this place, and I'm determined to give it the best I can.
Osagie Ize-Iyamu is truly a man with a vision, tried and tested through different levels of leadership and service to his people, and now ready for the next level.